shaking, my booty shaking from the left to the right. My booty shaking, my booty shaking, my booty shaking from the left to the right.
An exciting start in this elimination match. I'm now joined by FUT's coach Gaius and Scarlett to do some translations. Now, Gaius, after you lost to the last CN team, you guys spoke about how the unpredictability of their playstyle caught you off guard. Do you feel like that was an issue again today, and that was the reason why you weren't able to close it out a little bit earlier?
Bir önceki serinin sonunda FPX'in gerçekten tahmin etmesi, güç karşısında oynaması, güç bir takım olduğundan bahsetmiştiniz. Bugün de benzer şeyler gördünüz mü? Seriyi, maçı erken kapatamamanızın sebeplerinden bir tanesi bu olabilir mi?
Açıkçası şu an bence kolay bir süreç geçirmiyoruz. Ne kadar FPX kolay tahmin edilebilir takım olmasa da aynı zamanda DRG. Ama şu an bence biz yeteri kadar iyi değiliz. En önemli kilit noktası bu. Kimle oynarsak oynayalım belli bir noktada hep tıkanıyoruz. En büyük problemimiz bu. Karşı taraf ne olursa olsun. Belki bugün Leviathan'la oynasak, G2 ile oynasak yine aynı problemleri yaşayacağız. Bu süreci en iyi şekilde atlatıp önümüze bakmaya çalışıyoruz.
Honestly, this isn't all about FPX. No matter who we play against, at some point it feels like we just get stuck. We need to better those processes. It might be G2, it might be Leviathan. The opponent doesn't really matter. We have to improve ourselves, we have to fix some stuff, and we have to get into better matches.
Well, thank you very much for your honesty, Gaius, and thank you, Scarlett, for the translation. Best of luck on that too.
FUT managed to pick up the win on Bind, but let me tell you, that prediction was looking real good for a minute there.
I mean, it was close. DRG really exceeded my expectations in this game. I think their attacking side with the Harbor, some of those
the thing that we told them they need to clean up.
Yeah, they really improved from that last match to now, and I liked this comp they tried out. They really pushed FUT here.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like it's so hot and cold with Luke, right? And especially when he's been set up by the Harbor, he knew exactly what to do and how to do it. This is not like a last-minute fix. I think that this was very well prepared.
Yeah, they definitely put in that work. It showed 100% in the server. It was also interesting to hear Coach Gaius say that, like, you know, essentially
it's a
that sometimes
thing to say.
their worst enemy is themselves, but they did manage to dig themselves deep in these rounds, and this was the round that they did it.
This was really the turning point. DRG was starting to come back, and they make this kind of basically 5 push down long on the eco, and it's the perfect call.
Yeah, I also think that it's so important because FUT regionally have a very good eco success rate, right? Eco win rate. But it was a very necessary round because at the end of the half, they were throwing some of this executes that they were doing. Not only that round that we just saw with the eco, but also the following one. Things were getting very, very close in this department, and actually Sinan manages to clutch at the next round. But again, it wasn't comfortable at all for FUT in their map pick, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, this is coming down to a 1v2 that CNED wins, and I think the pressure was really on these guys, but the consistent force for good on the side of FUT really was Yetsuge. He is one of those rookie players we were talking about this morning, and I feel like when he's playing in these big matches, when elimination is online, we saw it in EMEA too, this is a player who really steps up and finds massive performances like this. He's just so clutch. And I think also when he's playing this Viper, especially on the defense, he does a really good job of when people are coming at his site, finding the right fight to stay alive for the rest of his team to rotate over.
It's so good to see that he was so reliable because there were some bits here and there, like Adacapta missing a couple of TPs, but then having some very good ones. But then also the way that Mr. Fallen, I just think it's very funny that he was using his heal almost every round on the attack.
Yeah.
Because they were just sending it, so he would just be in the back, just healing everybody. I'm not, sold on this performance. I like the guy is good enough to admit that, but
Yeah.
it's
We need better from
But
him.
you know what, though? One thing that definitely stood out to me, without a doubt, was that Yetuje was that emotional support, too. Once they were getting those rounds, he was loud. He was
he always
popping
is.
off. He needs to be that person. You need that emotional leader there to really be that individual. Well, speaking of leaders, let's actually see what's going on with the coach of DRG. It's Yuchen standing by with Yinsu.
I'm now joined by DRG's coach Yuchen and Luna here to do some translation as well. Now, we heard from the IGL of FUT before this match started, Mr. Farland. He thought that you guys kind of relied more on individuality, popping off instead of teamwork. Would you say that this is a fair way of assessing your team?
在这场比赛之前，其实 FUT 的 IGL Mr. Fallen 他就说 ，DRG 可能更多的是去打个人实力，而不是去打团队的协作。你觉得他说的对吗？
我不认同他这个说法，因为我们现在是整体向团队协作已经在靠了。
I don't think what he said is fair because we are trying to play like with our synergy and teamwork right now.
Oh, well, it was very close on map 1. Best of luck for map 2.
Well, you see that they feel like they had that synergy and teamwork. We were definitely seeing that come online on Vine for sure. I think that you really want to give yourself that confident layup if you're Mr. Fallen and be like, yeah, they're just individually good. They don't have the teamwork that we have. But I think DRG definitely showed that they do have that. They got close, 13-10. That's impressive. I don't think a lot of people would have given them, especially with the way that game started, they would have given them that time of day.
Yeah, exactly. We were hearing it in the cast. Baby said that DRG was looking much better than what we saw the other day. And I don't blame him for enjoying what those 5 guys are doing because really it looks like a different team. Now going into Ascent, this is the map that they have picked out the most when they were playing in their region. And on the other side, we have a FUT that has barely touched it. I think that they've only played it once back in like week 3.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. This used to be like the Turkish map, though,
Yeah, for
right?
BBL.
For BBL. Yeah. Ah, okay. Yeah. Good call.
But
good
even
call.
then, we saw good stuff from FUT on this map in the past. I think this is a solid one for them. I mean, obviously, everyone plays Ascent, but for the side of DRG, they play the default comp except for the Cypher instead of that Killjoy coming in. But I imagine a lot of that is comfort for Vukashu. I think on their attacking side, when they're playing so many of these 4-1 setups, like we saw yesterday versus Heretics, when we saw on their attack side of Bind, that Cypher is really useful because it lets you hold a lot more proactive, like forward space than the Killjoy does. You can put down trips on one side, the cam gives a lot of info, so it's a little harder to punish. What I'd like to actually see more from FUT in this next match on their defensive side is going for more of these kind of forward extremity pushes and re-clearing main in the mid-round. It's what Team Heretics was doing, which was owning the attack sides from DRG round after round in their last game.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to see a little bit of this head-to-head. Now that we saw it on the race, it's time to see it on the jet. And it has to come alive. We were talking about seeing it and the impact that he can have. But now moving into this one, knowing also that is the kind of map where you have the most vanillist composition from both of the 2 teams. I'm really excited to see also as we were mentioning, the side of the Sentinels.
Yeah, for sure. You got Vukashu who's going to lock in that Cypher. It'll look to cause some problems out in the field here, but this is it, right? Dragon Ranger Gaming, if they don't do it here, they will be eliminated from the competition. FUT Esports, though, can't take this squad lightly, as we saw in map 1.
They absolutely cannot. DRG stepped up to the plate in the first one and is looking to find something similar here. This is a comfortable map, but I think all the questions about this team are coming down to their attacking side, which has been the sticking point for them throughout this tournament.
I mean, of course, it's a complicated task. They not only have to do it here, they also have to do it on the 3rd map. But if FUT is really going to survive, really going to see tomorrow, we need to see some consistency. Yes, they were playing a lot more together, but we need to see that there is a consistent plan.
Well, and I also think too they can't just overextend a bit too much.
Yeah.
They were getting a little too.
On the defense, they were just sending it
They
on
were having
time
a little
because
too
they were
much
so,
fun.
so scared of the harbor and the executes that they were doing. Like, these solutions are so dramatic, are so drastic.
I think even on that attack side, we saw some overconfidence from them at times, like really starting to send it on these executes and getting shut down. You got to give this DRG team some respect.
Yeah, it's easy to look at the other side of the field and say, oh yeah, we could just send it against them.
I mean,
But
especially after how they started that map.
exactly, but we're here at Masters. You gotta put respect on everyone who punched their ticket to this event. But this is it, folks. If DRG lose out here, they will be eliminated. Our first Chinese squad eliminated in Shanghai. Can FUT do it, or will we see a map 3? Let's send it back over to Doug and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, I agree with the desk completely. I think the big takeaway after map 1 was you cannot take DRG lightly. FUT have to approach this with a little bit more seriousness in certain these rounds if they want to go ahead and close this out, because you give DRG an inch, they will take it.
Yeah, and they're starting on the attacking side, which I think is going to favor them because, I mean,
Yeah.
FUT kind of were destroying them on that first half. But now DRG can actually formulate the pace. They can do what they want to do. And they're running the Cypher opposed to the Killjoy on the side of FUT, which, I mean, for B main control, it could be really good. You know, you cage in front of yourself. People have to check if you're behind the box or not.
Yeah.
A lot of doubt could be put in the minds of FUT with that Cypher pick.
Spike retrieved.
Early B main utility use a dagger and a deep omen smoke. And honestly, FUT have a really good setup here if this isn't a hit, which it looks like it will be.
A lot of presence. Lukash already starting to rotate towards A. He's going to be joined by his teammates. I thought they wanted to lean into this A hit, and that's why he was rotating over, but deciding that they want to fight through mid in numbers and in bunches.
Yeah, and when that omen smoke comes up in the main, I mean, if you run through it, it could be devastation.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Who knows what's on the other side?
So I actually like the call to cut noise and come back around catwalk, but there is a molly here. Like, FUT are prepped for this all the way.
Deep knife. I believe that tagged onto CNED. That thing's hard to hit.
Yeah,
It can be hard to hit sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit of a problem trying to take out that alarm bot, but he didn't have a problem killing people at all that last map, that's for sure.
No, and I think he's going to be a really big part of the win condition here for DRG if they want to pull this thing off.
This is a really good round from DRG so far, depositing Luke here in top
Yeah,
mid.
they're-
He's going to hear the rotation and fall on his one shot.
They're playing the map very nicely.
And now they come back. This is really clean.
CNED has not moved this entire time.
Luke is too far ahead of his teammates, though.
Now dashing away, repositioning with 13 seconds left. The spike is just barely going to make it out. Crack still has a molly, but he picks the wrong side. They're going to be coming down steps. CNED with the tap onto the first. Now the spike hits the ground. So does CNED, but the round is done.
It was a really good round initially from DRG. Good ideas, but they let the clock run down too low. And then I think that, you know, Luke there, he went a little too quickly. If he would have waited, maybe they get a trade on CNED. The Jet on defensive side can be so oppressive for reasons like this, the reposition, and then he's just backside. And honestly, they could just bide their time if they wanted to. So although DRG pulled out all the stops, it seemed, FUT still came out on top.
They played it well. They accounted for almost everything. Really everything except how much time was left in the round.
There's that B main dagger once more.
Yep, and I believe it tagged all of them. Oh, CNED close. There's the first to fall, not connecting shots onto the second, but Krax is there to save the day. Even with the flashes in the face, TZH, the last one standing, and he won't be around for long. A flawless round to get FUT up to 2.
Yeah, 4 players there, all primed and ready to shoot anybody coming out of that B main. And that's all because of that dagger landing in the B main, like you said. Ada Captain had all of A main control. And look, we're seeing a bonus round from FUT, and it looks like they're gonna get aggressive in the mid area of the map. CNED's gonna walk off a cat, and since you don't have to worry about a Killjoy turret to slow you down, if CNED peeks and doesn't see this Cypher cam, I mean, he could just keep on going.
Yeah, that's a really good point, yeah. Don't really get the same type of information.
And look, there was actually a paranoia from Ada Captain that blinded the Cypher cam. Doesn't matter though, because this will be a full A hit from DRG.
Again, Luke ahead of the squad, but this time with a little bit more safety.
Door's not closed though.
No. And as soon as there's a tap, you imagine
the spam will come through.
I expect the N2J to try to take the fight. The door goes down, and so does she on 7. N2J on the trade, though, not able to put up much more of a fight. Luke slowing things down to 55 HP, and Cena's there to surprise him, punish him, drop him. They're still healthy, though, on the side of DRG. There's still a chance at this. So 2v2 as Cracks falls. Trying to reposition down into hell. They're going to have to play on the other side of the smoke. The Molly's going to buy a little bit of time. They have a flash as well. There's no other utility on the side of the attack. CNET on the prowl. They both are trying to get up ahead of the smoke and get the kills. And they are going to succeed. Another bonus the way of FUT.
FUT just have such good retakes against this DRG squad. DRG just can't figure it out. They just get isolated and picked off one by one by one. They really need to stay together and play as a unit and peak together in these situations, because I mean, you cannot be giving isolated fights to a player like CNET or Cracks.
You can see the frustration on his face. His FUT get up to 3. DRG still looking for their first round. Bukashu's back to his old ways. Full Vandal, no armor, no util. This is something that he has found success on before.
Here.
He's gonna have to do it again.
They're about to run into a blender right now. Luke is gonna be the only one that could potentially survive this. And he's once more ahead of the rest of the squad. DRG takes his head off.
Remember the rifle that he invested.
What?
Snaps onto 2, doesn't get a single kill, but
yeah, forget the rifle, Doug.
Still gets the space.
But again, it's these scenarios in the post plant.
Nick tried getting ahead of this. Nick might pull this thing off by himself. Bukashu still hasn't taken any damage, still has a rifle in hand and will fall.
A costly round for FUT, but I mean, they're building up a savage economy right now, and CNET, you gotta imagine he's about to be on that operator. He has 5.3K to his name. And I mean, Jet on defensive side of Ascent, it's so good. And look at these shots were insane. Unreal.
Hey, Nick did his best.
Unreal.
Man. He did everything he possibly could.
That last kill too, why not? Got a feel for DRG. This will be a setup to get CNET posted on the deep B line. KO flash. This is basically a one-way flash. It should not be hitting CNET at all.
Does hit the cam though.
It's a big kill.
And he punishes Mr. Fallen. Nice to get away with that. Meanwhile, Ad Captain to count behind them.
Spike
Takes care of loot. The spike is sitting across the middle of the map. Just as quickly as the round starts, it's down to a 1v2.
It's only been like 25 seconds. And there's kills everywhere.
He's dead.
Wow, I was so fixated on B main, I didn't even realize that Ada Captain had TP'd all the way down mid. And after that flash, pushing back the rest of the players from B and their tiles. When they just get owned, that's a crazy peak from CNET to run through a cage and take that commitment. I mean, if there's anybody up close right there, your shit just dies.
Yeah. There's just so much action happening across mid as well that I guess he felt safe in doing it.
I would much rather CNET be making plays like that than what we saw in the last map.
Yeah, for sure.
With the Ada Captain just jumping around.
Bukashu again, no armor, but a rifle.
Mr. Fallen just broke that KO knife that's supposed to land and be unbreakable to tag all of Wine and Amen. So now DRG have no idea if there's a player in Wine. They might have a little bit of an idea because it was broken, but you're going to be running into an operator. So if you don't have the utility to push him out, you're going to die.
Luke with blades online, trying to find an opener.
Blocking sight.
Look at this respect that FUT is showing, just playing in the backside, giving all of mid control.
This is, remember, I believe it was in the pistol. Luke got this far up. It looked like there was going to be that split B, but again, the delay is really nice.
And those are the knives.
But they're all here. Bukashu's rifle will hit the ground. Yetuje still playing backside. The swing almost gets the best of Xion 7, but no. And they commit to the plant. Knives should be back up here very soon, but it's not going to matter. He's upgraded a weapon. He's got a rifle, but he's been spotted. He's been tagged. He's been paranoid. He's been spammed, but somehow survives. Finally falling. They're both so weak. CNED with op in hand. Xion 7 still playing backside. 7 bullets. Switching to the classic. He is weak. Time is short. Great shot from CNED. He does it again.
FUT do it again. Another retake win. They just seem to be unstoppable in these moments.
The spike is diffused.
And Xion 7, he did his very best to keep Luke alive in that entire scenario. But, I mean, he was just full blind with a dart scanning him in the back. It's too tough. Too much to do. I mean, he had 3 kills in this round as well. I love how TZH was running down CNED all the way from A main.
Paranoia chasing him.
A main to Garden to Market.
Nipping at his heels the entire way.
That's the worst feeling. He was so close. CNED was at 40 HP. He almost had him dead to rights.
And so again, another sense of deja vu. FUT find themselves up 6-0. The timeout comes through from DRG. We'll see what adaptations come out from the attack. I think it feels like a lot of this has felt forced, right? Perhaps a little bit hobbled together as they're trying to piece some sort of a ingredients of a recipe to find a round win, and it's been ever elusive. There have been attempts at heroics. There have been a lot of attempts at heroics. You think about 2Ks and 3Ks, and you go, oh my gosh, they're gonna pull it off. This is where they figure it out. And they always just fall just a bit short. The retakes from FUT have been so nice.
Yeah, DRG just crumble in those moments, much like the last map. And on attack Ascent, you need any round you can get. It's one of the hardest maps to play the attacking side on. If you're not winning those post plants, you're just making it really, really hard on yourself to have any chance to win the map. Krax has been a menace with his KO dagger. He's been switching it up every single round, it feels like. Oh, CNED saw the dagger. He saw the barrel.
And he lands the shot.
Jeez.
Of course he does. DRG trampling over A. You've got a little bit of KJ utility, but that will go down as the ult goes off. Adacaptor and spam to the smoke will connect. But FUT trying to hold the line with the numbers advantage and ults aplenty. DRG continue to push though.
I almost don't want DRG to plant the spike though. Is that bad?
Flashbang.
Yeah. Flash up in heaven, TZH. Pushing Krax off. And now the smoke. This has been where they fall apart. They're down in numbers too, man. The spam as they've got the lockdown, but Nick going aggressive. He might catch another ult, but he's been caught. Fully sold out on that play, leaving TZH to be the hero on his own, a 1v2. Both members weak. Waiting, daring for the swing. The first will fall. 5 bullets left. Yetuje got it to half. The molly will buy a little bit of time. There he is on the swing, and TZH the hero again. The Red Bull clutch for DRG.
Who else for this squad of DRG to bring him back into things?
Had to be him.
And hopefully they can string some rounds after this. And I like that from Nick. I like that he went aggressive there and didn't opt to just play off of the site. He had to do something, make a play. Because so far it's just been FUT making all the plays.
Cover going
We're gonna have to find more where that came from. Knife traded ahead of the one-way. He's gonna draw out the paranoia and the dart. Gives the space back up as Luke goes up high.
That's a free A site. Mr. Fallen will be rotating in with that Hunter's Fury.
Yeah. And there it is, right on cue, tag. Oh, it's so tempting to go after Jet in a position like that. He gets a kill on him, but Nick commits to the plant. Meanwhile, TZH, the hero from the previous round, on the flank, but it's covered.
Look at how they
CNED has to mind his footing. Still lands the shots on a Jet2J. DRG should not have been able to get away with that. And the numbers advantage, one more, the flash through Oh my gosh, a second falls. 5 HP though. Mr. Fallen, he's got an Odin up in heaven.
Standing ahead.
Switching to the rifle, going aggressive, having to get the defuse, the shock. Just a little bit off the mark, but he's surrounded. He's cornered in, he's got nowhere to go. Back-to-back rounds for DRG.
And the key difference here for DRG in these post plants is the proactivity. The KO flashes into that door area with the flank from TZH. But TZH, I mean, it almost went sideways for him when he missed those shots.
I do think you're right, though, about them setting each other up for that flank. That flash coming through was everything.
They know that their chances of winning the round when they're actually just trying to play the bomb timer, it's been low all series long. So they need to force the issue. And they should be forcing the issue against FUT. That's where FPX had so much success. This will be a timeout from FUT. They don't want to let things slip away like they did on Bind.
You saw guys at the end of that round, frustrated, shaking his head at a captain with a very similar response. So the timeout fitting, you're right. You don't want a repeat of Bind. When you're up like this, DRG have found some success, and honestly, it's been those things that have been plaguing them for really the entire half. Yeah. Their inability to hold the site when FUT were on a ferocious retake, that's what's changed. That's where things have gone a little bit sideways these last few rounds for FUT.
And they won the last 2 rounds being a man down, man disadvantage. It was a 2v3 the previous, now it's a 4v5. I'm just worried that in another scenario, when they get bombed down as all 5, that they won't still do those aggressive plays on the post plant. Sure. When a team is so good at retaking like FUT is so far in this series, it's good to disrupt. Catch them off guard with their utility.
A quiet start to the round. Nothing really shown, it's just the early exchange of utility is the knife. Now, CNED with a Marshall in hand. Tagged by the knife. Almost landing a shot onto Luke. The tiniest of windows.
As that all was happening, Vukashu inserted a deep B main Cypher trip. And now they're gonna lean towards this A hit. There are 3 members of FUT here, primed and ready though.
All they have is sheriffs.
Yeah, but remember Bind.
Yeah, that's true. Ooh. CNED landing a shot onto the first, but swings back in and connects onto Luke. Krax has gotten 3! How in the world does he get away with that? That was the round that was supposed to go the way of DRG, but a Mastercard thrifty for FUT.
Krax was insane with the sheriff there. I set it up perfectly. And he's firing at all cylinders. That 3rd kill, that was insane. That was cracked.
I'm gonna get a good look at it again.
Oh my gosh, so satisfying. Then at the end there, I mean, he had his crosshair lined up for the headshot too.
Yeah, you're right.
Heartbreaking for DRG after the last 2 rounds they won. It felt like they had the momentum on their side.
Yeah, it looked like they were gonna win their 3rd. What a mess. FUT have weapons. The spray steadied at least enough for 1. It should have been more. They invest the ult. Now DRG decides to slow things down for just a moment. The paranoia out, no real way for them to find a little bit of traction. Having to just face the smoke, and they do so with success. There was nothing on the other side of that.
Just timing peaks everywhere.
Spike planted.
Big numbers advantage here. A 2v4 turns into a 2v3. 1 step closer. TZ's position here really nice. And it's not just him.
Suppressed.
There's a little bit of help on the other side. Bukashu playing in hell.
Flashbang.
The fight's gonna go sideways. Here's where it'll go. But a really nice setup by DRG at the end there.
Good trading from the side of DRG and some energy in the crowd finally. Little warning shots from DRG after winning that round. You gotta,
That's gonna force FUT back onto a broken buy again.
Yeah. CNET is gonna go for a hero hop here. With the idea that going into the next round, he'll have those knives or,
right?
I mean, even a rifle if he wants.
Here.
Sitting at 1800.
Gonna be opting towards A. A pretty spread out default from DRG so far. That was another knife that was supposed to land A main, and it did. But CNET sidestepped it, so no real idea of where the op is. Or where the duelist is, I should say.
Yeah, and CNET gets so much info because DRG used a deep A main smoke. And he checked it. So that's why you see on the minimap, everyone rotating over, they're cheating over, but DRG is gonna get caught out here in mid potentially.
I thought he was gonna get away
low
with that, yeah. A little bit of damage, 32 HP.
You are powerless.
And the exec being paranoia as the dash come through. Luke finding some comfort.
Good flash.
In it, but they're still alive here. Oh. They still haven't been cleared.
Oh, cracks.
They're gonna do it again. A 3v2. The op has arrived, but Vukashu's holding the line. Captain goes up a bit too far. Now the door down. Too many targets to deal with, but he's finding them all. They connect. Unfortunately, DRG had numbers at the end there because that got really messy.
Last round before the switch.
All of DRG are thanking Nick right now for popping that KO ult and getting the rest so they actually have the man advantage in that scenario because that could have gone south very fast.
It almost did.
How is Crack so good with the Sheriff? This was really nice too. The reflick on a Yedege there after CNET makes a distraction.
They're awake again, they're alive again. Not quite the exact same score, but the feeling is the same from behind.
Yeah, and honestly, 4 rounds on the attacking side is not too bad. Yedege was out of that dagger's range.
TZH grabbed that up. He's got to play his patience here. He's got to play his cards perfectly, but they know where he is. He's so dead. And now Luke activating. He's got the blades online, dashing out towards site, checking everything he possibly can. Captain has to give the space up as the door goes down. Patient on the spam. Little trigger discipline.
I know exactly where you are.
Keep in mind, Krax has his ult. CNET so far away from the play. Captain also has his. I can't imagine he invested here, but he surprised us before.
Nick is isolated right now.
And Vukashu's dead. CNET pushing forward, trying to find a little bit of space. Turns over to the blades, and he goes out. Drops Shield 7, tries to get the head off Luke, cannot connect. They're so weak. Luke does it again.
And DRG gets 5 going into next half.
Another situation where it felt like they were just gonna get rolled.
Yeah. This time they come out on top with the heroics.
Luke is really impressed these last 2 maps.
And I mean, I guess he can kill people when he's not dying instantly because he's on an island.
Yeah, who would have thought, huh?
That's the duality of Jet on Ascent.
And the duality of DRG, just when you think they're out, just when you think they're done, they surprise. They win 5 of the last 6 rounds to close out the half to get to a 7-5 with elimination on the line. We're gonna throw it down to the desk to break all of that down.
Look, all I'm gonna say is my one big thing, maybe just don't start 0-6 at the start. You know what I mean? Like, DRG clearly have the capability to be able to bring this thing back.
It's so reminiscent of that map 1 where FUT starts running away with things.
Yeah.
It looked great. In particular, it was just like retake after retake on that A site. But DRG really stepping things up. It's, again, Luke having massive moments. I think some better mid-round decision-making as well from them to make this a super favorable half.
And actually reading into what FUT is doing. We especially saw it in the last round, how they're clearing 1, how they already know what they're CNET doing on B, gathering the information time and time again in the same matter if CNET does not have that operator. It's very good to see that they still have this.
Yeah, of course. But let's go ahead, though, and take a look for a moment at our HyperX Reflex moment of the day. We're going to go ahead and give this one the cracks for, well, honestly, this awesome shot there that led to a round win for them. And, again, just that high-impact play that they needed, despite the fact that DRG brought this one back toward the tail end.
The thing is, though, that we were promised Turkish team play in that interview at the beginning of the day as the reason that FUT would win today. And honestly, the only reason this is even 7-5 is because of this hero play. This very well could have been a half knotted up. This is a tough game thus far for FUT, and they're really at risk of having this be pushed to a map number 3, especially if DRG can win this pistol.
Now the question, are we going to see the same FUT that is just sending it on the attack? Because of course a lot is on the line right now.
That's right. We're going to see what the discipline is of each of these teams. Remember, DRG are pretty much at the point of elimination if they can't force a map 3. Let's send it back over to the casters.
Thank you so much. FUT hanging on to a 2-round lead desperately, while DRG have had all the fire. It's been heroics really from everyone, but the defensive side will be a different beast. I think for FUT, they're going to have to solve how they deal with the Cypher setups. It's not something that you commonly play against.
And the way that Bukashu plays it is really unconventional as well.
Yep.
Like, look at these trips, a deep trip into B main. I rarely see that.
Especially with him peeking ahead of it.
As that all was happening, FUT prodded into Cat with the garden smoke. They don't like what they've seen. And that cam, that's the Cypher in full effect. You're getting the info.
Yeah, but it gets cleared with a minute still left in the round. So FUT can still play around this a little bit here. And honestly, that's going to force Luke to play back spawn. He's kind of tethered there for now. He's daring him. Oh.
Wow.
Just a little bit too wide in the jump spot, and honestly, that was to his benefit. Stays alive because of it.
That's paranoia out for FUT, and now they're going to have to go mid to B.
That's a rotation out for DRG. They're trying to run back A.
Left.
And honestly, the benefit is that Bukashu heard the rotates. He heard them running through, so he's able to pivot back quickly enough. But is it going to be in time? Sectioned off by the smoke. Forced to watch. Still gets his value, still gets a kill. 3v3 for the site with 13 seconds left. The spike eventually playing, and Mr. Fallen trying to spam into the smoke. Not going to connect. Repositioning back towards B. Meanwhile, Yetu playing mid. Trying to control the rotation, but it's all coming in through spawn. Luke just got decapitated, but of course it's traded. Mr. Fallen keeping it up on his own. Bukashu with attention divided, knows there's at least one behind him, has to deal with him. Time is short. And the nuisance that is Yetu has just won them the round just by his existing, just by his positioning. Very nicely done.
One enemy remaining.
Sometimes you don't need to do much, Doug. Just your presence alone can win you rounds. And Mr. Fallen had a huge round here with some really nice shots. He's been quiet all map long, but this pistol round, I mean, they wanted it, they needed it, and they got it. Look at this shot.
That was off the jump spot too, and then connecting onto that one right there. That one was pretty.
Beautiful.
Right here. Right here.
And it's tempting to say that they really needed the pistol to put together a comeback if they wanted to keep this close, and yes, they would have kept it close had they gotten it, but the truth is the way that they've played this series shows that it might not matter. Hey, they might go down another couple of rounds and then put together this ridiculous comeback. Who knows?
On a defensive-sided map, it's definitely
tougher.
possible.
Yeah. It's tougher to weather if you're FUT. Of course, the name of the game for them is to get out of this as cleanly as they can. All it took was a shoulder. Nick to drop the molly and take a big step back.
1 for 1.
Yeah, TZH getting away with one there is criminal. But the Bulldog of cracks is just too much.
He's having a map right now. Yeah, on the KO too.
Yeah, a 21-9. That's not bad.
Jeez.
It's not bad.
He does not want to be eliminated today. That's for sure. And it's so oppressive when you're playing against a KO that's actually shooting straight like this.
Yeah.
Because he might even have ult online in the next round or the following round.
Could have sucked.
Forward to his name, farm a little bit of orbs on this bonus.
Snack time.
All right, look at the healthy buy. 3 Bulldogs, a Guardian.
I mean, it's all rifles.
Yep.
They literally, I mean, they have 5 rifles going into this bonus.
Oh, man.
And remember, that's 2 bonus rounds that they've already won in this series. They won the first in the first half of Bind, they won the first half of Ascent, and now the opportunity to do it again.
And
It's just so difficult to play from behind, man.
Exactly, and Yedege now has a Phantom upgrade as well because he basically full saved in the previous round. Will be an early drone mid from Tiles and a walk-up cat.
They're not being quiet about it, man. They're trampling forward.
Yep.
Ada Captain gets bested, A-main.
They have Nick stuck right now. Cracks with the KO molly.
Oh, seen it. Dashing forward, taking the fight on his own. Finding Luke. Fortunately for DRG, the TZH is alive.
Enemy remaining.
Mr. Fallen has to win this 1v2. He's got to try to get the spike, and he's spotted as he tries to get away. Will fall.
But a successful round for FUT. They got 3 guns out from the side of DRG. And that's why you see so many players will be on light armor. They're going to have to be on light armor.
This was such a big play from TZH, man.
TZH anchored this, honestly, almost perfectly.
Yeah. He did his job. He did everything a team needed him to do there, and then some.
He's really the star of this roster. Sitting at 14-11 once again.
Same drone that we saw the previous round from Tiles. Remember, in the previous round, though, it was with the walk-up Tiles. Not the case this time around.
A deep mid to B smoke. I imagine they're trying to prod up top mid. Bait out any Cypher trips.
Yeah,
maybe
or maybe
a trap.
look for a cam, yeah. He's out. Oh my goodness, he was ahead of it. Execution style. Seen it and cracks, don't know what hit him.
And he's going for more.
Ooh, just narrowly missing that window.
The name of the game now is just discipline.
FUT have to be careful here, man. You cannot let DRG back into this game.
One enemy remaining.
They're going to be on an eco in this next round.
Here.
The other
They're running them down.
The other concerning thing too here for FUT is that there are a couple of ults that are starting to come online for DRG.
Yep. And not only that, but it was Luke who got 4 into this round. You give a Jet confidence on the defensive side, he can run circles around you. He can disrupt you in any lane. Kind of like this. Doesn't matter what your game plan is when that Jet pops dash and goes for a peek.
They're smiling again. They can feel it. Always giving us a run. Always giving us reason for hope, for excitement. Luke getting tagged early on by the drone.
They'll just knife out running top mid. The disrespect.
Trying to catch a cheeky timing if they can.
What did I say, Doug?
Spam through the smoke. Ada Captain goes down. Fully committing onto this B hit. The Sheriffs have been problematic in the past, but it does not look like that'll be the case this time. Mr. Fallen Cena doing everything they can with it. It's just not enough. DRG again, 1 round away. And I've got to call back to Bind again because this is as far as they got. They got within 1 round, and then FUT ran away with it again.
And FUT have a really good opportunity here to run away with it because of the ultimate economy that's coming up that you see after this replay. This was Luke. I mean, he just got a spam kill top mid, dashes into stairs. Sean 7 staying alive here in lane. FUT should be aware of this setup though, because Sean 7 has been playing this spot since pistol round. He likes to go lane, jump down, jump back up.
Çok done.
Big round here for FUT. 3 ults to play with, but only 2 will likely be a factor.
They're so fast to take this mid control.
But honestly, DRG have been kind of comfortable to give it up. There was a cam early on, but other than that, they've just kind of ignored it since.
I'm really interested as to why Vukashu isn't putting his trips on the opposite site. Because when you're running up against a KO ult like that, I mean, that's part of the reason why you want to play a Cypher. You can be in 2 places at once.
That's a really good point.
Not really reading into it.
Pops at A. Luke not able to get much more than that, but maybe Nick can. Really nice steady aim. Really nice crosshair placement. He's destroying them. The flash from Cracks will counter, though. And they've inserted Yetu. He's hearing all of these rotations. He's going to call the troops back.
Oh, I think Shion7 saw an elbow.
Shion7's the only one who hasn't made it back. You're
30
right.
seconds left.
The pings on the minimap confirm the suspicions. But do they? I guess he thought they were going to go back market. That's the punish. And now more utility to keep Vukashu back. He's forced to sit on the other side of this alarm bot.
Alarm bot down. Recalling my bot.
Once again, DRG a round away from tying us. And not able to fully close the gap. Vukashu would have to 1v3 here to tie us up. Spike has been going off for a couple of seconds now. Yeah, Cracks is weak, 35 HP. He's the weakest of the 3 targets. But everyone else is healthy and ready for the fight, itching for it.
They want to give the kill to Yetu so he gets that Killjoy ult online. And he will get it.
Very nicely done there from FUT. Min-maxing that as best as they can.
Yeah, Cracks actually gets rezzed onto that catwalk and gets the trade onto Nick there. And that's what I feel like is what was the turning point in the round.
I think this here too, Shion. Yeah. It seemed like Shion7 knew where he was. You saw the pings on the minimap and he just gets punished for it. Yetu played that very nicely.
Cracks had a pop flash over the top 2 from bottom mid when he dropped off a cat there for him. So even if he was dialed in on the crosshair, I mean, he would have gotten full flashed.
Full pressure.
You should run.
Blades over the top though. Luke trying to get some high ground, does connect on the Blades. Now dashing back, he got in, he got his kill, and he gets out. Nicely done. Oh, he's hunting for more. He's wrapping around, Data Captain's dead. Understanding where the pressure's coming from, they have to turn their attention forward. But they've inserted a couple of members mid.
Proactivity from FUT, and they heard this cat drop.
Almost gets both. Only one found. Can Yetu succeed here?
Cracks is still alive. Anything's possible.
A 1v2. Taking a little bit of damage. Now they know where he is. That's the only flash he's got to his name. Knife won't matter. Util empty. The second flash through. Walls closing in. He can fear the footsteps. And he will fall.
Good job from DRG in that 2v1. They understand that Cracks has been crazy all game long, honestly. He's been a beast. So they methodically took their time, had all bases covered, didn't get flashed, didn't get baited. Cracks almost finessed them too. He got hit by the Cypher ult, and he was holding his flash out on purpose like he was gonna right-click on the right side of that backside area. DRG were not messing with any of that though. And that'll cause a timeout for FUT. This is so familiar.
Second timeout, last one. The guys will have at his disposal. Meanwhile, DRG hang on to 1, but they've won 4 of the last 5 rounds. That last one was close. But they're giving a run to this thing. And the funny thing is about DRG is on Ascent, you really have no idea what team you're gonna get, right? One day they beat EDG 13-3, the next day they lose to them 3-13.
Yeah.
You just don't really know what you're gonna get from the squad on this map, but this feels a little bit more like 13-3 instead of 3-13.
And it doesn't really feel like it's off of heroics either. I mean, if you
No.
look at the, well, you guys can't see the scoreboard, but you're gonna see it shortly. Everyone's really close together, and they're playing together. I mean, even at the end, they're in the 2v1, right? Scaling together, while Nick is holding one angle, Bukashu gets the scale. And you imagine that Nick would just wide swing wherever Cracks was
Need to drop.
if Bukashu falls there.
A suboptimal buy for the attack.
Standing ahead.
2 rifles, 3 sheriffs, and Nick instantly spots one, pops the ult. Forces Foot to think twice about this. That's a really early ult,
Yeah, I was
too.
literally about to say the same thing. That's so early. I think Nick hit the panic button a little bit there after hearing those,
Yeah, I
those
think
jet
so.
knives be popped.
I think you're right.
I must wait a moment.
And now there's a window of opportunity for CNET to maybe do some anime battle things here over the top of boat. Oh, as I say that, Bukashu has his teammates back.
Over the top. That was the punish. A flash in his face, has to dash, has to try to stay alive.
All the meanwhile, that trip is still alive.
It was a cool idea to get the KO ult out at the beginning, but they just run into a brick wall after that. And the brick wall's name's Bukashu. What a hole. We are tied.
Brick wall is an understatement for what we've seen so far on this defensive side. This is why, I mean, I said, you know, 5 rounds is good on the attacking side. It can be so hard to break through.
That was so big from Bukashu, man.
Great support.
Hey, even there, when he drops the second cage on for Luke as he has to dash back, he's flashed, he's trying to find cover.
Yeah.
That's a big round from their Cypher.
Now we have the Hunter Fury available for this round.
CNET popping blades. The only one without a rifle. Again, no real interest in holding the defense, the middle of the map from the defense.
They haven't had to.
Yeah, Luke just now getting here, jump spotting, and CNET hears that. Calls for the smoke and just destroys Luke. Pure Phil.
That was such a nice shot.
If they hit the timing right here, they can commit onto this B. Shion 7's by himself. But the timing on this is everything, because DRG are rotating back as well. Nick will be first.
No commitment on that Omen ult, though. But it did get info that there wasn't anybody boat, or at least peeking market on them either.
They know the Sova's still close by. That dart just hit in main. The flash out through. Nick holding the line, holding the space and trying to just take the fight.
That was
seconds
very
left.
Still playing backside by himself. Now surrounded by the utility, by the members of Foot that are knocking on his door.
Here.
Bukashu and TZH so far away from the play
Spike planted.
and so heavily outnumbered.
Their economy's so healthy, though. You should do as much damage as you possibly can, because if you can get at least 3 guns out right now, you have a chance
There's one.
to snowball the rounds after this, right? If you win the next, the economy might suddenly be broken for Foot, and then you might be on match point.
They're still trying to play for their exits. You see Foot trying to find safe passage out from the site. CNET cannot. As soon as the smoke goes down, yeah, they had to clear him. And they managed to do so, but they lose 2 rifles there. Yetu-J's in CNET, and the money's not great, you're right. The one benefit is that because of the way this round played out, CNET didn't buy. He used blades.
Oh my goodness. And then this right here from Nick, I know you were kind of flabbergasted when it happened. I mean, I was too. Usually you see KOs sit a little bit back after that first peek and spotting players in B main. Have some support flashes over the top for Shion 7 on site, that anchor. And Shion 7 had a dart that whole time. You could even pair it up with the KO flash. But that's all in the past now, and we have Luke on that operator in the middle of the map.
With CNET jump spotting.
I think he saw him there. No.
Has not fired the weapon.
Whoa!
A snap again onto CNET. is just disgusting.
Blow for blow. It was Cena that took his head clean off last round. He wanted revenge.
Sean 7 taking a little bit of damage there, has his ult online. DRG slow things down.
Luke repositioned so fast with the operator. You saw FUT put a bottom mid smoke, but he's already ahead of this. Oh. Just as I say that, he gives Olive Garden.
Because of the drone that was coming out from May.
Yeah.
Captain's TP forward already, but he falls. I don't know that they're going to find access into the site, man. I don't know that they're going to be able to brute force their way through. They're trying to peek out one by one through the smokes, and it's a flawless round for DRG.
FUT don't really seem to have an answer for this A site hit, this anchor of TZH. And the crowd, they could feel it. The win is right there, it's on the premise. This was that entry from Luke.
That shot is so gross, man.
Yeah. TZH, I mean, he's like almost Bang-esque on this A site.
11 apiece. Ops still in the hands of Luke.
Cover going out.
This slow approach from FUT hasn't really been getting much value for them. They're not really taking any map control. They're not really usually taking B main. They might get it this time around. But it's really came down to just the anchoring play of DRG for the most part in halting these approaches from FUT.
Only one spotted. No challenge, no swing. You were just mentioning the anchoring efforts from DRG. If they go into this, it's at all the Cypher utility. And they've got Xion 7 and Bukashu here close by. First ult use, CNET dashing forward, trying to find some space as the Molly's at his feet. Luke not able to land the shot. The third round of that fight goes the way of CNET. But they're starting to surround them, a deep alarm bot, and they're gonna pivot back, you're right. They baited DRG into fully committing
30
B.
seconds left.
That's a beautiful call.
Last player standing.
Jeez.
DRG invested everything into that hit. And the rug was pulled out of under him.
DRG got all the way up top mid as all that pandemonium and chaos was happening. And he heard the rotations. And once you hear that Omen ult come through as well, I mean, it's just obvious. Go back A, you might as well. DRG cuts off the rotate, gets the kill on top of it. That allows the deep alarm bot. Reload. TZH does have something to say about it though.
And these kills are not insignificant. Again, the money's not great on the side of FUT. They lose 2 rifles there. They're gonna have to buy armor on Cracks and on CNED. Potentially Yetu-J as well, unless they want to leave him at light armor.
That pre-fire.
It's really nice. And there was that cutoff on rotations you were referring to.
Yeah, he slowly crept up. He first got deposited in the bottom mid area. Then he goes for more once there's chaos. Once Cena dashes out and just lives around that boat area.
And another timeout called, the last one from either squad. 12-11. DRG potentially 1 round away from being eliminated in front of a home crowd. What a devastating thing that would be. And they've given FUT everything that they could possibly handle, and honestly, a little bit more.
It's been a battle on both maps. This one the closest of the two, but I don't know who the clear favorite is here. This could go either way still. Both teams in the latter rounds, they really have to dig deep. Show what's left in the tank, what's left in the strat book on this map of Ascent.
DRG, a team that really nobody gave the time of day to, as GB put it.
Seriously, it's night and day.
A team that a lot of people expected not to win a single map. Here fighting for tournament life, pushing FUT to the limits. An op in the hands of Luke. A lot of value has been found on the other side of the timeout. What's it called? Nick already peppered. And he's been sectioned off. The one benefit is there's a little bit of help via TZH if he can stay alive, but now position given away. The paranoia comes out. Luke has to tuck. Captain falls. They've held the line. 3 of them fall. The spike in no man's land. Unless CNET can do something about it, and he cannot. We've gone the distance, and we're going a little bit more.
You cannot take over TZH. He's too good. The A site is his. Look at this guy. What an anchor he's been all half long on this A site. From the same spot every single time in hell.
We've been gifted with OT. We'll see what DRG can do with it. From down 7-5 at half, from down 6-0 to start the map, to the 25th round. Now an opportunity before them, but the need to convert. Have the knife and the flash already been used. Luke will get a little bit closer to Blades. It's a really deep smoke too.
Yeah, there's
out
that.
from TZH.
Yeah, we saw this previously, and the last time they did this, CNET was ahead of that, and he checked it. This time around, no one's gonna check it, so FUT don't have the same info.
They're gonna force the drone out to clear that smoke.
Cage triggered.
This is really good so far for DRG. If they pressure B main and break all this KJ utility, the rotates will surely come out because of that drone, and I think that's what's gonna happen. That's why TZH has not left A main yet.
And honestly, if you go back to regulation, DRG played the macro very well.
Oh, but this alarm bot wasn't broken at all. If they broke it, surely FUT would have rotated off.
Seeing it smoked off with the flash in his face, connects onto Luke anyway. A shattering of the glass and safe passage found.
30 seconds left.
Seeing it on the reposition. Still has that glass cannon in hand. But Xion7 getting him close. Mr. Fallen on the counter. The attack still with a little bit of bite to it. Although outnumbered. 10 seconds left. Now committing to the spike plant.
10 seconds
Bukashu
left.
trying to play aggressively on the other side of the smoke, facing into it by himself, recklessly pushing forward. The Hyla waiting on the other side as it dissipates. He jumps and he falls. Now it's on to TZH to win this 1v3 as the spike has been planted. He's got time on his side, but he's all on his own, and he will fall. FUT gets a series point.
And this is all because that bottom mid alarm bot was not broken. That one key piece of utility, had it been not there,
Switching sides.
this could be an entirely different scenario. Maybe CNET rotates off and he's already cheating towards mid if that happens, and then Luke doesn't go down early. And then this, heartbreaking. It's gotta be a mouse wheel issue. And it's the pressure.
He knows it, man. He knows it. Straight into it we go. Can FUT put DRG away?
This was a new look so far for DRG. This mid walk off a cat from Luke, and also aggressive B main drone, breaking the Killjoy turret.
Mr. Fallen 2 away from the Hunter Siri. Knife with a little bit of a tag. Luke hitting the best of Yetu-J.
That's the Senti gone.
Yep. Does he get value out of this position? He's got the paranoia in hand. Out of Captain looking over his shoulder, making sure his duelist doesn't get popped. There's not enough of a Q to draw it out, so they silently leave. Rotate back B. And they're ahead of it. DRG are already here. They've already gotten 2 back site. They're gonna try to split out onto B, and yeah, they're gonna have his numbers advantage here, but Luke still has his op. And he's holding the line. Can they get past this? He's ahead of smoke, spots the feet, cannot connect. and now spam
30
through
seconds left.
with the shorty in hand. They decide to ignore him for now, but you gotta be careful. He's right on your shoulder. The defense will have to hold the line here as best as they can. 3 apiece potentially for tournament life. The spam not connecting, 10 HP, he will fall. TZH has been a hero, but he will not convert.
Masters win.
FUT stay alive.
In heartbreaking fashion for DRG as well.
What a performance from FUT, man. They got pushed. They got pushed in a big way.
2 players sitting at almost 30 apiece. 29 for CNET, 29 for Cracks. They had a crazy game. And DRG looked way better than the other day. Way better. I hope they keep their heads up high and look at this series as one that they could have taken away from FUT.
The test said it, we saw it. They really tested FUT. But the clash of the number 3 seeds on the international stage goes the way of FUT.
And it wasn't clean.
No,
but they did it. They did it nonetheless. They're gonna have to go to the drawing board and figure out how they can close these leads. Close the maps out, because they had such a buffer on both maps, and they just consistently let it slip away. I mean, we even heard the coach saying it. But at the end of the day, a win is a win. That's all people will remember in this moment.
You take a look at a couple of these highlight moments from the series again. And honestly, especially Ascent, it was full of them.
Cracks was unbelievable.
All series, man. He was nuts.
Yeah, he's counting his blessings, that's for sure.
The Sheriff impact kills he was able to get. I think what we say at halftime he had 18 kills. I'm pretty sure a third of them were off of the Sheriff.
Doug, that Sheriff round was the difference maker in this game. They won by what? 1 round, pretty much. That's what it came down to.
When things get this close, you're right. It's those little things that make the difference. Mr. Fallen also was heroic to close things out, and I guess it felt like maybe the pressure was too much for DRG at the end. They just weren't able to close it out. And so unfortunately, in front of a home crowd, they're sent packing. But there's a lot to be excited about for FUT. The Verizon post-match interview with CNED right now.
Hello， 大家好，欢迎来到赛后采访，我是维嘉。让我们再次恭喜 FUT Esports 赢下了本场比赛的胜利。我们也是请到了CNED选手来接受我们的采访。Welcome to the post-match interview, and now I'm joined by CNED from FUT Esports with us. Would like to say hi to the audience.
Hello.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
也欢迎 CNED 选手来接受我们的采访。首先，可能想要问一下 CNED 选手，因为其实来到上海大师赛，他们已经和2支来自 CN 的队伍交过手了，所以也想问一下，从他的角度来说，他觉得 CN 队伍的打法风格是什么样的呢 ？So you have played against two teams from CN region in this Masters Shanghai. So how do you think of the play style of CN?
Of course, it's different from the other regions. It's very obvious. They are like most likely like depending like counting their individual, and their individual is very good. Yeah, that's it.
他说，其实 CN 队伍的打法风格确实和其他赛区有着非常不一样的地方，因为他可能觉得他们会更依靠于个人能力。当然，确实 CN 队伍的选手每个人的个人能力都很强。那第二个问题想问一下 CNED 选手，因为其实我知道他们队伍在之前也对蝰蛇有一个非常高的优先级，在很多地图上都会使用到蝰蛇。那在这回上海大师赛蝰蛇削弱之后，他们觉得蝰蛇的强度此时此刻如何呢 ？So your team have a very high priority of Viper before. So after the nerf of Viper, what do you think of her stress right now?
I think it didn't change too much. Of course, it get nerfed, but I think still usable in most of the map. But like we will see. Like we didn't have too much time to actually play without Viper and test the new stuff. But yeah, we will see in the future.
他说，虽然蝰蛇经过了一系列的削弱，但他还是觉得蝰蛇这个英雄的使用强度是非常强的，在很多的地图上都可以使用。因为他们现在可能没有太多的时间去测试，比如说哪张地图没有蝰蛇会怎么样，因为没有太多的准备时间。但是他觉得之后可能一切答案也都会揭晓的。那接下来也想问一下 CNET 选手，因为我们其实可以注意到，这回他们队伍在来到上海大师赛之后，在背后都印上了他们自己的中国名字，也非常可爱。想知道 CNET 选手知不知道自己的中文名字应该怎么念？ So I've noticed that the Chinese words on the back of your jersey. Do you know?
Sorry, can you say?
I've noticed the Chinese words
Yeah.
on the back of your jersey.
Yeah.
So do you know the pronunciation of your Chinese name?
Sorry?
Do you know the pronunciation of your Chinese
no,
name?
actually.
Oh, would you like to learn with me?
Yeah, of course.
Your Chinese name is 施耐德.
Shinaido.
施耐德, yeah.
Shinaido.
Hi everyone, I'm
Hi everyone, I'm Shinaido.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best. Sorry.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
And congratulations again. 那我们的赛后采访到这里就先结束了，然后接下来还有一场非常非常精彩的抽签仪式要等着大家。That's all for our interview and thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Let's over to the judge show. Don't move.
After the exciting matches we've seen the last couple of days, we can confirm that two teams have already made playoffs. But there's two more spots left, and we're going to find out here at the draw show who is going to be playing tomorrow and see which two teams will be making it over to playoffs. As always, I'm now joined by Victoria, who's going to explain a little bit of the rules here in the draw show.
Yeah, so this one is only a 4-team draw, but definitely one of the more interesting ones. So we're gonna have 4 teams. The rules are regional matchups are fair game, but you can't play a team that you've already played in Swiss. So naturally that means that FPX and FUT can no longer face each other in this round.
Oh, okay, so that's 100% determined. We're not gonna see that rematch.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I can't wait to see. I'm just going to quickly explain to everybody that is here in the arena what is going on. Gen-G 和 G2 已经晋级到淘汰赛的阶段，所以我们现在抽出明天的对阵情况。还有FPX 跟 FUT 他们第一场我们已经看了他们比的赛，所以下一场他们不会遇到FPX 不会遇到 FUT. All right. Let's just go. I can't wait to see what we're going to get.
Yeah, me too. All right.
All right, I'll hold this for you. As you guys heard that from Victoria, that rematch is not going to happen. So I'm interested to see which team we're going to pull out first and see. Oh, it's going to be FUT. Now, as you guys know, they cannot go up against FPX. So they have Heretics and Leviathan, I believe, as the two choices here as the match. And then the last two will be the second matchup. This is poetic. I feel like this is poetic. We've taken out FPX. Of course, this is the match that's not going to happen, which means FPX will be moved to the second game by default. Let's see who FUT, I believe this is going to be FUT's opponent, right? This first one is going to be who FUT will be facing tomorrow, and it is going to be Leviathan, which means, as Victoria would take out the last team from the fishbowl, Heretic should be facing FPX tomorrow. Here we go. I mean, things are going to get crazy here. But of course, Victoria, whoever wins tomorrow, they will be advancing to playoffs.
Correct, yeah. And as far as the schedule, since FUT played second today, they will play second tomorrow. We're not going to make them play back-to-back. So as far as the schedule, tomorrow will be FPX Heretics and then FUT Leviathan.
Oh.
And we will...
We'll see who makes playoffs. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Thank you very much, Victoria. And yeah, let's see what we're going to get tomorrow. This is a spicy bracket.
All right, so there we see it. We got everything locked in. FUT's going to be going up against Leviathan, and then we will have Heretics going up against FPX. And it's important to note as well, because FUT played that second match today. They will play the second match tomorrow. So basically, everything's all laid out for us. I don't know.
Thankfully, no regional rematch.
Yeah, it's
That's
true,
all I
it's
was
true.
hoping for.
It was a probability that was going to happen. You were losing your mind, hoping
I was
wasn't
nervous.
But I feel like
but
it's
then
not.
tomorrow, who am I supporting between FUT and Leviathan? Who am I supporting? I can't. I won't choose.
That
My
seems like a you
prediction is
problem.
no prediction. I just lose.
Well, there you can see it there. Unfortunately, that means we say goodbye to T1 as well as DRG. We'll talk talk about that in a little bit. But for right now, though, looking at these matchups and what we're going to be getting, in the horizon, I'm excited. I mean, I think it's going to be fascinating to see how FUT square up against Leviathan, because honestly, Leviathan looked really good today. And if they continue that form, that could be scary.
Oh, yeah. And then on the second one, the FPX versus Heretics, I think there's going to be chaos onto chaos. Is Patitech going to go back on that race? How many controllers are we going to see? I think it's going to be very interesting and definitely a tough opponent to play against.
Yeah, I had really high confidence for Team Heretics, and we definitely saw some of the cracks in that G2 game. They're going to be facing now an FPX, who I think is in white-hot form. So some real chance for that #2 seed from China to make it to playoffs.
I cannot wait until tomorrow is over and you can call EMEA a zero-team region again.
Oh, no.
There's one team.
There's one. There's
one team.
And I wouldn't want to say that. That would be mean.
That would be mean. We would never.
Oh, yeah.
You're like projecting that I'm going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I'm a nice
Don't go there, Mimi.
Guys, we're just happy little guys who just like watching video games. It's great. Again, just want to reiterate, you see it on the schedule, and I'm sure someone has us on mute and then unmuted and then wasn't paying attention. FUT and Leviathan will be playing second tomorrow, as per what Victoria had said on stage just a little while ago. And then FPX will open the day against Heretics. That is going to be an exciting matchup, though. I am stoked to see VOOT back again and now going up against FPX on freaking what they were doing over there, with life and stuff. Oh man, it's gonna be so hype.
But of course they have to be so nervous, right? Because they had to wait until this very moment to know who they were playing and when.
Right.
So just imagine, right? They're about to go get dinner and they're like, oh, by the way, first thing in the morning tomorrow, you're just gonna go play against FPX.
And with DRG losing out too, that means there's extra pressure on FPX as that one of only 2 Chinese teams remaining in the tournament to really step up and make a run into playoffs.
For sure. Of course, that means we do have to say goodbye to DRG. I will say, guys, I'm proud of you. I'm glad I hitched my wagon to y'all. There's the only person in this broadcast who believed, and boy, howdy did they make me a believer.
Same goes for T1.
Exactly.
I think that they put up a very good fight. And for DRG, I do not want us to go to the next tournament and to just be like, oh, they've never won a map. They got so close today, especially on that second one with that overtime. The way that they were turning around things, yes, we know it's not ready yet. But the projection that is there, that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And for T1, this is really heartbreaking. It's coming off a double 0-2 loss to kind of go out in that first round at Champions, and then it's happening again here where you're losing 2 games in groups. This team keeps showing potential at home in Pacific and showing some moments on the global stage, but I think we're really waiting for a chance for T1 to show more. But with 4 slots for Pacific at Champions, I think there is some real hope to see them again on a global stage.
For sure, but then even then, right, you got to think about the rest of the other teams that have been chomping at the bit for this opportunity now, seeing what the global teams, especially with more exposure to the Chinese teams and now more exposure to NA and EMEA teams, there's certainly going to be that pressure there for those Pacific squads. Even though the region is still looking relatively strong, I think,
We have
safe to say.
What was the team? What was that team in Pacific that we used to have a lot?
DRG?
DRA?
I'm mad at you right now.
We miss you.
That's messed up. DRX, yeah, hope to see him back sometime.
Yeah,
Gen G is carrying on the Korean legacy.
Say something.
I was just gonna say, there's gonna be 2 teams from Pacific in top 3, and Pacific is winning this tournament. I just have to keep saying this.
You keep doing it, and Chober's gonna kill you.
Yeah, he might.
He might come
But this really looks like the best form for Pacific right now. I'm a big Pacific believer this time.
I would love to know the first impression from the teams already waiting in playoffs, or what we've already seen in Swiss. Is it what they expected, or has there been some surprises?
Yeah, I would definitely say that there have been some, at least for us, there have been some surprises, right? From FPX's great performance, I don't think a lot of us were sure what we were going to get.
I think that's been the surprise of the. I feel like everything else is gone
G2
for
digging deep, when they were in the pits.
I feel like that looked possible, at least.
Coming out looking like a god on the duelist role, being the main duelist. I don't know, man. I'm weaving up some narratives right now. This is me weaving, just me spinning things up, trying to cause problems.
I think most of those were the expected narratives,
yeah,
though.
That's true. Don't kill my dreams. Okay,
the dreams is we have exciting narratives, and that's true, even if they were expected.
You're so right, Mimi.
They were exciting.
Yeah, they were
and that's
exciting.
different than unexpected.
Well,
not everything that's unexpected is exciting.
Well, you know what, guys?
I don't like surprises.
It's getting late. It's getting late.
Yeah.
You know?
What time do you have to come back tomorrow?
Early. So that being said, that's going to do it for us here today. We thank you so much for joining us. 2 great matches on the horizon. We're going to send 2 teams to playoffs, and we're going to send 2 teams home. You don't want to miss it. Probably the most intense day of this event is going to take place tomorrow. So we hope to see you then. We thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you soon. Peace. Couldn't have asked for a better way to kick off day 4 of Masters Shanghai. Leviathan, a roster formed of some of the best players in the game, taking on what some could say is an underdog T1 squad, but to sell them short would be a massive mistake. This game is going to be awesome.
As Izu leads the way, but what a shot! Ozpus ready for the entry. Rossi, attention, turned away. King with the tap on the spike, finds a headshot, looks for the second, and he's got it! A 3-piece from the IGL. King just gets spotted, but Saya going to be taken down on the entry. Den atop orange, up over the top. Ospas trying to find a kill, but it's going to be Mazzino collecting a second as Izu does fall. A third from Mazzino, spraying through, play off the tracers. The 4th. Pop flash out, chases in, is able to drop the pivot, and Tex in from behind, able to take him down. Now it's all on Xgrid. 10 HP. It would be absolutely miraculous. 13-9 left. Take down T1 on their map, pick a breeze. Covering fire is going to be good, and that Paranoia does not connect. Calm in front of it. Double taps coming through, Calm getting one, Ospas the other. Paranoia comes across, but Carpe trying to take some space, trying to take a fight, flash for flash, but Pain Shell's out. Rossi going to be taken down. It's just a day at the shooting range here for Lev. Tech does not really matter too much, as Tex, however, holds the line, cleans up 3, and it all falls to pieces. Recovery on that Thrash. Tex, however, 2 more forward, but he gets the 1-2. He gets the 3rd. 13-7. Lev close out a necessary series in 2-0 fashion. They stay in the tournament, and they send T1 home.
It's Turkish Valorant versus Chinese Valorant. Time to see how things are going to go down. And let's not forget, this is an elimination game. Win here, you move on in this competition. But if you lose, you are done.
Noise has led to a rotation back B. So they're able to sit on this, but you're right, the shots are so crispy out from Foot. And so they brute force their way out onto the site. They get every single kill.
Yeah, all he has to do is live here. Get some kills, this works. Oh, TZH is so good.
Smoke on the side, he's gotten it down to 1. CNET has ult. Unbelievable, played it perfectly. They're all in tatters, but what they do have is the element of surprise. Yeah, DJ gets 2, but the trade there. Number still the way of the defense is CNET is looking to put him away himself. Time is short, Bukashu could be the hero. He got it to half. He should get the defuse. 1.81, Foot take bind. Luke slowing things down to 55 HP, and CNET's there to surprise him, punish him, drop him. CNET on the prowl. They both are trying to get up ahead of the smoke and get the kills, and they are going to succeed. CNET pushing forward, trying to find a little bit of space, turns over to the blades, and he goes out. They're so weak. Luke does it again. Finding Luke. Fortunately for DRG, though, TZH is alive. Now position given away, the Paranoia comes out, Luke has to tuck, Captain falls. They've held the line, 3 of them fall. The spike in no man's land, unless CNET can do something about it, and he cannot. It's potentially for tournament life, the spam not connecting, 10 HP, he will fall. TZH has been a hero, but he will not convert. Foot stay alive.
In heartbreaking fashion for DRG as well.
What a performance from Foot, man.
I'm never going to the country club. Yeah, no one pull me out and get the boy a hug. 3 blonde beauties walking out the country club. Yeah, please don't mess with me. I just having up, but I just stole her from a dad. Now she ain't